Friends, we are going to have a discussion of a very important essay by Dr. BR Ambedkar. The essay is Prospects of Democracy in India. First, I will say a few words about Dr. BR Ambedkar. He was born on 14th April 1891 and he passed away on 6th December 1956. He is one of the greatest intellectuals of the world. Whenever we say something, we should know what we are saying. When I said intellectual, I should define what an intellectual is. An intellectual is not just someone who thinks, it is something more. An intellectual is one who, with his superior reasoning power, studies different subjects in great detail with careful thinking and mental effort, and expresses his ideas on those subjects without any personal bias. There are two aspects here: careful thinking and mental effort, and expressing without any personal bias. That is an intellectual. Dr. BR Ambedkar, he is one of the greatest intellectuals because he studied different subjects in great detail. Dr. Ambedkar has thought about and written on economics, political science, social anthropology, law and religion. I have mentioned only a few subjects. Whatever he touched, he went into great depth. Dr. Ambedkar, as chairman of the drafting committee of the Indian Constitution, pioneered in making our Constitution sensitive to the needs of all the segments of our society. Dr. Ambedkar was educated at Elphinstone High School, Elphinstone College, Columbia University, London School of Economics and Bonn University. From Columbia University, he got his MA and PhD in economics, and from London School of Economics, he got his MSc and DSc in economics. He was awarded honorary doctorate LLD by Columbia University in 1952. Dr. Ambedkar is remembered for his contribution to the restructuring of Indian society by breaking the hierarchical order of its caste system, and also for his contribution to the making of the Constitution of India. Indian Constitution has in it all that is needed to ensure a social welfare state and also to follow the rule of law in parliamentary democracy. It is in this context his essay, Prospects of Democracy in India, is of great importance. Now, we are going to discuss different parts of the text in great detail. When we look at an idea or study a subject in detail, we need to understand some basic concepts which constitute the subject: government, democracy, parliament, republic, rule of law, liberty, equality, education, and such concepts and their interrelationship will have to be properly understood if one wants to think of democracy in India. This is what Dr. Ambedkar does in this essay. Democracy will be successful in India only if we meet certain requirements. Government can be of different types: monarchy, democracy, military dictatorship, dictatorship of the proletariat, etc. The core point made in this essay is that democracy is more than a form of government, and that it refers to the way a society operates. We have to evaluate India as democracy in terms of its social structure. Democracy, caste system and education are the three main points which are discussed in this essay. To understand the concept of democracy and its place in India, one has to understand its relationship to republic and parliament. Republic only shows who is the head of the state. If the head of the state is not a monarch, is an elected person, then that is republic. Similarly, parliament, which is the law-making body, has members elected from time to time from all over the country. So, you have republic refers to the head of the state and parliament refers to the law-making body. But these two automatically do not ensure democracy. This is the core point of Dr. Ambedkar's argument. Democracy is not a political instrument. It is much more. It is more than a form of government. Its roots are to be looked in for the relationships among different groups of people in the country or in that society. The society as a unit is characterized by unity, common purpose and desire of welfare for all, and finally, a loyalty to public ends. This should be kept in mind. The different individuals and groups of a society should have sympathy for one another and they should cooperate with one another. They cannot say, I won't cooperate with you because you don't belong to my caste. Then society cannot function well. And if they do not cooperate with one another and if the society is not operating properly, how can we have democracy? No society, for that matter, no organization can function successfully and democratically unless different parts of the unit, organization, society, have clarity of purpose, loyalty and clear awareness of the general goals, and only when they act with respect and love for one another, they can make the unit successful. If the individuals in an organization are loyal to the groups they are members of, not to the organization as a whole, the organization as a whole is bound to be at a disadvantage. You take a university, if the teachers all behave one way, non-teachers behave a different way, students behave a different way, the university can never be successful. All of them should be loyal to the very organization, the concept of university and higher education. Same thing applies to society. If the castes try to take care of only their interest, not interest of the society as a whole, and the society, then the society cannot flourish. Well, if the society does not flourish as a whole, there is no democracy. This is important. Dr. Ambedkar looks at Indian society carefully and concludes that its ideals are disturbed by the caste system. What is the problem with caste system? Different castes are exclusive in their life. They have no common experience to share with one another and they have no bond of sympathy. See, if a person belonging to a caste says, I will take care of only my people, and I always tell my colleagues, if a teacher says, I will guide only people of my caste and my religion, not the students of other caste and religion, then he is no teacher. He is no teacher, he is a cheat. Because a teacher is a teacher because he teaches the students. Why should caste and religion come into the picture? Same thing Ambedkar is saying. If different segments of society do not help each other, do not have sympathy for one another, different groups, how can there be democracy? Any caste system which negates the presence of ideals of unity, shared purpose and desire for welfare cannot allow democracy to take roots. For democracy to take roots, the society should be a well organized entity with proper understanding of each other's need and each other's purpose. Such caste system which does not believe in unity, does not believe in social welfare, common welfare, negates democracy. Dr. Ambedkar here refers to the problems of untouchability, absence of intermarriage, absence of interdining in the Indian society. No doubt, between 1956 and 2011, there has been a sea of change, but that sea of change is not enough, because it is an ocean of social evils. A small sea will not work. What I mean to say is, even today, there are certain areas of Indian society where this untouchability, absence of interdining, absence of intermarriage do exist. This is exactly what Ambedkar was referring to, and that stands valid, that is applicable even today. What Dr. Ambedkar says in 1956 unfortunately plagues our society even today, especially in the socio-political arena. An average Indian votes for a candidate who belongs to his caste. This is unfortunate. This happens even today in different parts of the country. It is not just one state. This happens almost all over the country. He says that even the ruling party, which talks against caste system in society and politics, chooses its candidates on the basis of the caste of the majority of the voters in a given constituency. Similarly, in industry, in charity, in commerce, people tend to help only those people who belong to their caste. One might argue, sir, I think this is a matter of the faith in the fellow caste man. That is not true. The one who ditches you can be from your own caste, he can be your own brother. So, this has nothing to do with it, but the general feeling for one's caste, the general feeling of belonging to that caste, which is binding, which he is objecting to. The point that comes here, another point, very important point, is so called graded inequality. The caste hierarchy is characterized by an ascending scale of hatred and a descending scale of contempt. See that interesting thing. Hey, what happens if he belongs to higher caste? Who cares? Ascending scale of hatred. Hey, how can that fellow be equal to me? He belongs to lower caste. Descending scale of contempt. This kind of pride and prejudice are ruining our system. This is, let us be very clear. This happens at the time of recruitment. This happens at the time of guiding students. This happens at the time of treating patients. Unlike in the class system, a caste tends to be isolated from other castes. So, our India is a very interesting country where the society allows itself to be divided into different groups. The relationship between two castes tend to be fixed, with stimulus and response being set in tune with their place in the caste hierarchy. But again I will say, thanks to the constitution which was guided by Dr. BR Ambedkar in its making, people of different communities have started reaching higher levels of government and higher levels of society. But what is the percentage of people who go up? That is not great percentage. Result is, in many areas still the graded inequality continues. That is the problem. There is no equality of opportunity, and the training people receive turn them into masters or slaves depending upon the prefixed caste setup. That is exactly what we should keep in mind. Many people do talk against reservations. I want them to think about it. If you do not have reservations, many people who have come up will not come up. If you clearly understand what Ambedkar is saying, it is the mindset which should undergo change. One of the greatest things with Ambedkar is, he does not spread hatred, he spreads love. He spreads the desire to change the mindset, so that people have mutual sympathy, commonality of purpose. Anyone who preaches hatred is not doing good to society, and that is one thing Ambedkar opposes. No hatred please, no contempt, no prejudice. This is very important for us to remember when we study Ambedkar or evaluate his contribution. The binding relationship between caste and occupation also cuts at the very root of democracy. Of course, some states like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh have done a lot in the field of reservation, and people have come up in a big way. It has happened all over the country. But while implementing this reservation policy, there are lots of gaps. A society to be democratic should open a way to use all the capacities and activities which may characterize an individual. A particular caste will not automatically give you a good engineer. A particular caste will not automatically give you a good doctor. Basic talent, good training, and enough of toil. Talent, training and toil, the 3 T's ensure a person's choice. Caste has very little role to play at all. Stratification with this graded inequality stunts growth. That will not work. One should remember here that Dr. Ambedkar is talking of society at all levels. The Constitution of India, which was drafted under his chairmanship, assures equality of opportunity. Many people wrongly say, if there is equality of opportunity, why reservation? But you should understand what is equality of opportunity. Your background should be the input while discussing opportunity. The Constitution of India no doubt provides equality of opportunity, but the implementation is disturbed by the tradition of ignorance and prejudice. There are certain areas where the deprived do not get all the benefits assured by the Constitution, and the depraved are the bad people who oppose the implementation of the Constitution at all levels, and the depraved do not allow the empowerment of the deprived to take place. What they say in public is different from what they say within the 4 walls. If one looks at the way the electorate behaves at the time of voting, one can say with certainty that party ideology, the individual's character come much after caste money power, muscle power and the false ideas of the leaders. Dr. Ambedkar talks of graded inequality as a very important evil of the caste system. That is, caste 1 thinks it is superior to caste 2, caste 2 thinks it is superior to caste 3, caste 3 thinks it is superior to caste 4, and as I have already mentioned, caste 2 says, hey, what if it is caste 1? Caste 2 says, hey, that is caste 3. That means, you are willing to look down on the so called lower caste, but you are not willing to accept the superiority of the higher caste. That means, there is hatred, there is contempt. This is exactly where this graded inequality characterized by ascending scale of hatred and descending scale of contempt. This is one thing which is really creating trouble for Indian society. Of course, some educated, enlightened people refuse to recognize these things. So, they are not depraved. The depraved ones are those who want to deny the deprived their right to get power. These depraved do not want the deprived to be empowered. And empowerment is in field of education, financial prosperity and political power. In every areas, all the segments of society should have equality of opportunity and equality of success. Well, equality of success is not something you can provide for. They have to achieve the success, but equality of opportunity without any prejudice, without any bias, without any favor, without any fear, that should be taken care of. And then, can education destroy caste characterized by graded inequality and also characterized by profession linked caste? Profession linked caste, Dr. Ambedkar says, may give you stability, no doubt about that, but the individual is denied proper growth.
Suppose I accept Chaturvar. What will be your interpretation? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Or in the reverse way, Shudra on the top. We must adopt the principle that all men are born equal and die equal.
Actually, it is people like him who have opened the eyes of the society. And now the society says, yes, what Dr. Ambedkar said at that time is necessary to be implemented today. That is exactly where Dr. Ambedkar becomes the kind of stimulus for the renaissance of the society. Can education destroy caste? Yes, it can, if education is provided to all and education is provided on more or less same wavelength to all segments, till the mindset has undergone change. A few people coming up is of no use, that will be 2% of population or 1% of population. It is the mindset that should undergo change. There are many children of the upper caste who do not want to study. They are happy to have some petty business. And there are some children of the so called lower caste who go up. That should happen. That is their individual aptitude. But caste should not decide what they should do, very importantly, what they should not do. Caste should not decide what they should not do. No, you, that is all right. You be Minister of Social Welfare, you cannot be Minister of Finance. Kyun ji? Why? what you should not be decided by the caste. That should be decided by your talent, your aptitude, your desire to do a given thing. Anyone who reads or studies this lesson, this essay, Prospects of Democracy in India, should focus on two major points. A, what are the ingredients of a democracy? How democracy has its roots in the society. Democracy is not a form of government. And the second point I want everyone to understand is, see the way Dr. BR Ambedkar argues his point without any malice, without any hatred, without any emotion. He argues his points from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. That means, when we write something or when we say something, when we think about something, we should organize in such a way, our purpose should be clear, the way we organize our discourse should be clear, and anyone who reads this essay will say, democracy is not just having legislative assembly or parliament. Democracy is the way we organize our society. Very few people will talk about that in that way. They say democracy means elections at different levels, etc. No, it actually is a reorganization of society for common good. Can you think of greater economist than Ambedkar? He was essentially an economist. Later took to sociology and political science and law. And of course, he did a wonderful study of different religions. And even in the matters of religion, he wanted scientific spirit and logic. That is why he chose Buddhism as a religion which will be guided by logic, not by superstition. So, this kind of equality of opportunity should be provided to all, and thanks to the Constitution, we have this now. And in 1956, when Ambedkar wrote this essay, he was trying to make this point that please implement the constitutional measures, or please implement what is given in the Constitution, so that democracy takes firm roots in this country by transforming the society to a society of equality of opportunity, social welfare, mutual sympathy, commonality of purpose. Thank you. Wish you all the best.